Yo, what is up? It's your boy JadeJonny back here in Perrim's Underworld with another video. This is going to be a correction video because I screwed something up in quite a few videos, and I, as the ever responsible person that I am here to accept responsibility. I'm hardly ever responsible, but this is, I feel like we should accept responsibility. So, I've screwed up quite a few things in my time, and while I was doing research, I came upon this post from Bulba in the official Chaotic Discord, and so I was like, I should probably issue a correction statement. So, as far as the timeline goes, so let's jump into it, right? This is a conversation from when he talked to Ganon. He had a one-on-one conversation with Ganon. He didn't record it because he felt uncomfortable recording it. So he just had a one-on-one conversation with Ganon, and so these are going to be tidbits that he recalled from that one-on-one conversation back in 2023. So this conversation happened 2 years ago, guys. Let's keep that in mind when we're reading this. 2 years ago. Okay, this is a conversation 2 years ago, but a lot of the information I've been sharing was from before that, and some of it does conflict with what I've said before. So, there is that. Okay, so first of all, as far as the time frame goes, it's impossible for him to say for sure, but around the time he'd be planning to get the ball rolling with a licensing partner by July, so July of 2023. That falls in line roughly with what we recall him saying in the interview in 2023 with Hard Rock. So that is similar to what they said. He said he was hoping to have an announcement around that time period. So there is that. So that provides some validity to what Hard Rock said later in that year. And so they're playing the waiting game at this point, waiting to finish up their current card game project. I couldn't find any card games in particular that were wrapping up production in last year or two. For those of you who don't know how card game production tends to work when it comes to things like this, is that they'll sign a contract that's either 1 to 4 years long and then go from there. So if it does well, then they'll renew their contract for a longer period of time. If it doesn't go well, then obviously there's no need for them to continue the contract, right? So that tends to be how these kinds of contracts for TCGs go when dealing with the licensing manufacturer. So when dealing with a manufacturer for licensing, is that it tends to be a 1 to 4 year contract. Sometimes it is a longer contract, and sometimes companies just have their own printing facilities. Like Pokemon just bought out the people who were printing their cards originally. They bought them out in 3 years ago, so they no longer had to do those contracts. So next up, they've got about 90% of the first 3 sets completed. He did not clarify what that means precisely, but Bulba takes that as all the digital files for 3 Firestone sets are almost completed, right? So it's Firestone, Fire and Stone, Elemental Emperors, and Storm and Sea and Storm, or something like that. I can't remember. I can never remember that middle one. I can never remember the name for it. I will always say Storm and Sea or Sea and Storm, and I guarantee you neither of those are right because I just can never remember the name for it. So that says that as of 2023, I mean, it's 2025. The set's probably already completed. They're probably already looking at the 4th set already. So it's just a waiting game, right? He does not want to do a reboot, which I've been saying constantly. I think a reboot was going to happen. When I did the Dragon X deep dive, I kind of realized, there's probably not going to be a reboot because of everything that Dragon X is talking about with advancing the sets. I figured that probably introduced a rotation. So that's, yeah. But there's definitely not going to be a reboot. He wants to do an augmented continuation from where he left off. I'm assuming that that's where he started bringing in the rotation. That's where we're talking about the multiple formats and the rotations. I think that's where it's going to be. I think that's where he's going to be picking up, is with the rotations. I think we're going to be rotating out of year 1 set, which is basically the Dawn of Perrim, block where we got all the non-Marillion invasion, oh my god, Fortunity? No. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of the set. I can't remember the name of the block of sets. It's Alliances Unraveled. Yeah. What am I talking about? It's alliances. No, it's Secrets of the Lost City. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm assuming we're talking about the rotation where the DOP sets that Dragonix had talked about in the Dragonix video. If you guys haven't seen that, you guys should go watch that. It's a really interesting video, and it talks about, like, one of the... Anyways, instead of having many different combinations of 5 stats, there'll be less options. He will not be removing the variable stat components, since that's part of the core makeup of the game. I agree with not removing it. I'm on the minority side for not removing it. I think the only thing that shouldn't be, randomized is energy. But I think that Chaotic's DNA, its makeup, includes those variable stats. So I definitely disagree. I definitely disagree that they're good for competitive, but I think that, it's their it's Chaotic's identity, so you kind of can't remove it. But they will be minimizing the amount of difference. So instead of having like a 20-point difference or a 15-point difference, we might be looking at a 10-point difference in all the stats, something like that. Next up, reprints will happen in a gimmicky kind of way, something along the lines of a special holiday set, but will not have a new copy, but will have new copyright information as to not be the exact replica of the vintage card. He does not want to take away the vintage card's value. See, this explains a lot. I've been talking about functional reprints, but he kept talking about holiday sets, and this explains so much that it's just going to have different copyright information as to not, devalue the card. We see Magic the Gathering all the time. We'll get a reprint for a card that's like super old, and it will hardly affect the value of the card over an extended period of time. It might take a $10 dive or a $20 dive, depending on how expensive the card was early on, but overall the extended value of the card never goes down because it's a different card and people like having the bling. So I agree with this. But it is one of those things I've been spreading misinformation about because it's so hard to find this kind of information since he's only done so many interviews. So, but Bulba does say that he'll just have new copyright information. So that's really great to hear. Again, all this stuff is subject to change though. And we also don't know what cards will be included in the special holiday set. So, for Peacock to pick up the remaining seasons on their streaming platform, it needs to be performing better than it already is. I'm not gonna lie, Chaotic's a very niche game. It was global. It was nearly global. It was international at one point, but the game has been dead for 15 years. Ganon has to do something to get people to start watching it again. Okay, I as a YouTube channel with less than 100 subs cannot encourage enough people to go watch Chaotic on Peacock because A, Peacock costs money and we're in a global recession right now, and B, it's free on YouTube. So yeah. I'm in a too niche of a community for me to contribute to that. And I think that the Chaotic Discord is also too niche of a community for people to contribute to that. So yeah. So so next up, Fire and Stone never made it to production before the game died out. So no, there is no warehouse full of fire and stone waiting to be open. I mean, even if it did make it to production, it would have been burned. Ganon destroyed a lot of product. It literally goes down to say when everything came crashing down, they destroyed 90% of the product and definitely discounted the remaining 10%. So no, there isn't a warehouse somewhere with pallets of sealed product waiting to be found. His exact words. However, there are some companies with pallets of product waiting to be found. More recently, a member of our Discord community, Crow, really great guy. I love the guy. He's about to do a major product opening on YouTube here shortly. But he more recently found one of his friends who worked at Walmart found a box full of Chaotic cards that came in on a shipment. And Crow bought the lot because he was like, well, I can appreciate this more than many people can. And I wanted to share it with the community. So he bought a lot of the cards, if not all of them. And Crow does just love cracking sealed product. That is where he finds the fun in Chaotic, is opening the sealed product and being nostalgic over stuff. So, he's a great guy. Don't he's not scalping anything. Okay. Just want to make that clear. There are still companies that have holdouts. We know Stop to Shop has a lot of holdouts of product from the original days, but next up, when they moved Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Chaotic off of Fox and onto Cartoon Network all at the same time, Chaotic was performing better than Pokemon. Honestly, this makes sense. This was in the Hoenn region, I want to say, is what this would have been. I think this is Hoenn age. 2008. It's either Hoenn or Sinnoh, and it kind of makes sense. If it was Sinnoh, it's a little less makes sense because Sinnoh was like peak, but Hoenn was kind of mid, so it kind of makes sense it'd be performing better than Pokemon. Really weird that he doesn't include Yu-Gi-Oh in his rankings. I'm assuming that means Yu-Gi-Oh is better, but that would have been like GX, right? Like 2008, that would have been like GX. 2009 would be GX, right? Like it'd be like. And GX wasn't good. I don't think GX performed very well in America. I could be wrong, though. I know 5Ds performed very well, but I don't think GX performed very well. Yeah, so Chaotic was doing better than Pokemon at one point in terms of TV show, which honestly I think would make sense because Chaotic is just a better written TV show than Pokemon. Sure, there's a lot of continuity issues, but the story is more compelling than Pokemon stories because Pokemon stories are all, oh, Ash is going to go through this. I mean, obviously, the new story, the new with Liko and Roy, oh my god, I can't wait to get back caught up. I'm so excited. It's been so exciting. I love the series. Better than all Ash's Journey combined. Okay, Liko and Roy, their story is so much better. Dude, so much better. But we're not here to talk about Pokemon. We're here to talk about Chaotic. But Chaotic's story definitely was better than Ash's entire journey. Up until maybe like Kalos? Maybe Alola. Kalos or Alola is when Ash's journey got good. So, yeah, there's like peak moments where within the show, but like I mean overall. So it makes sense that Chaotic was outperforming Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Next up, hobby stores received product 90 days before retail, and in return they're required to host weekly events to drum up interest. I hope they do this again, bro. I hope they do this again. Okay, I am a huge supporter of your LGSs, okay? If there's this LGS near you, you should always support it over like Target and Walmart, okay? If they don't carry the product, obviously go to Target, Walmart, or whatever, right? Or Amazon, right? But if they do carry the product, you should always support the LGS over any other big retail store. It's just the optional thing for card game players and card game companies combined. Like that's just something you should do. Next up, he says, running out of memory, didn't take notes. Brian Kibler was one of the main play testers for the game before it released, helping balance it. We knew that too. So, but this does fix a lot of things. He does go on to say one more thing. Wait, does this have the entire image? Oh, can't think of anything else right now. Sorry. Okay. So he does go on to share one more thing. Are we? Oh, I accidentally put it on this. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, cool. Here we go. And this is probably the coolest thing in my opinion. Is something else he forgot. He said they will not be using a number code, but some sort of scanning tech. That's the plan anyways. I'm excited for this. I think that having to type in codes is very frustrating and annoying. I like the idea of the scanning tech, especially since we're going to be looking at a mobile game instead of a online platform. We're looking at a mobile game, and obviously your camera comes on a phone. So, I mean, it's just scanning tech is just a lot better. I think that they originally talked about how they wanted to use Ganon has originally mentioned that he wanted to use QR code technology whenever they originally created Chaotic, but it wasn't there. Like QR code tech wasn't there at that point. And so now it makes sense that he's going to be fulfilling this. But yeah, I just wanted to issue some of these corrective statements that I made, especially like thinking that we might be getting a reboot. I found this, and everybody else had forgot about this. So it was really awesome to find this while I was doing research for a video. And I just wanted to share it because I felt like this was a very interesting thing. If you guys don't know who Bulbasaur is, he's one of the biggest Chaotic online retailers. You guys should definitely go support him. I'll put a link to his website in the description or in the comment section down below for you guys to go buy from him. He has a wide variety of products. He's just a great guy. And in the notes section, if you guys do end up ordering him, tell him I sent you guys, because like he has singles. I don't think he has sealed product, but he has graded cards. You can make custom playmats. He has custom Chaotic playmats that have the zones and all. And then you can also create your proxies through his website as well and order them from him. And they are quality proxies. They are literally high quality proxies. If it weren't for the fact that it says proxy down on the bottom of the card, when you order it from them, then you would never be able to tell that it is a Chaotic proxy. It would just look like a card if it just had like a randomly generated code on it instead. But yeah, so yeah, you should definitely go support Bulba. He's a really great guy, and I'm so happy that he got this information. Obviously, it was 2 years ago. Some of this stuff could be subject to change. I mean, we don't know what's the deal with this with Peacock now. However, yeah, I thought this is all really interesting, especially this really top part where they had a partner figured out, and they were just waiting on the card game project to finish wrapping up. Again, these kind of printing things with like major manufacturers usually are 1 to 4 years long, and sometimes they have multiple going on. They usually do have multiple, like, like companies. They usually do have multiple games going on. It'd be really weird for them to just stick to one. So I'm really interested to see how far along that is now. And I looked for research. I couldn't find any major card games that were wrapping up. Maybe you guys could, if you guys can find anything. Then go ahead and share. But they said by July 2023 is when they were expecting it to wrap up. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you guys can find anything that wrapped up around like July 2023 for card games for production, or like mid to late or late July, let me know down in the comment section down below. I've been JadeJonny. This is really interesting, and I'm so happy that this clarified some things for me, and I hope it clarified some things for you about Chaotic's return. But that being said, I've been JadeJonny, and this has been Perrim's Underworld, and I will see you in Chaotic. Let's port to Perrim.